Hello, I'm Noodle, and in today's in-depth guide I'm going to show you how to build and manage a station. I really enjoyed making the last guide on how to claim a sector, so I wanted to jump straight into making another guide for X4 Foundations. I have also included a time-lapse of the station being built up for anyone who wants to watch such a thing, but does not have the time or patience to sit there and wait with their own games. Before I start, I want to thank everyone for all the amazing feedback and for being so supportive of what I'm doing. Also, thank you Twinkky for making such an amazing thumbnail for these videos and for pushing me to make these guides. So, to build a station you will first need to make sure that you have plenty of money to buy the necessary modules required to start producing whatever wares you are aiming to produce and sell at your station. I have 20 million credits here, but you won't require this much to make a small station that only produces a single product. Once you have plenty of money, you will need to make sure that you have all the modules required to build the station. To do this, you will need to visit a faction representative that has the modules you're after. The stations in the game that have a faction representative in them have a blue icon of a man on top of the station icon. Provided you have already discovered the station that the representative is in, and if you have researched teleportation at your headquarters, you can then teleport straight to the station that has a faction representative. If not, then you will have to fly to the station yourself and dock. Once you are there, enter any lift you can find and go to the representative's office and go speak to him. When talking to him, select I would like to buy a blueprint. Then click on the modules tab and you will be shown all of the modules this faction has to offer. Some modules will be locked behind faction ranks, and you can gain these ranks by earning enough reputation points with said faction, by completing the quests provided by the faction, by trading with them, and by helping out in general. For the sake of this guide, I'm going to build a self-sufficient space weed station complex because I already have all the modules required to do so. I will explain about some of the more important modules when we build our station. Now that you have the modules you need to make your station, you need to pick a sector you want to build your station in and travel to it in order to place down a plot. A plot is an area you will be building your station in. I'm going to build my station in Bright Promise because it belongs to the Taladi and space weed is legal in their territory. Once you are in your desired sector, go into your map mode and click on the Manage Plots tab on the left side of your screen. You will now see the blue plot locations of the other stations already in the sector for the NPC stations. Click on Create Plot and you will be given a green box to place anywhere in the sector. Now choose where you would like to place this plot. Once you have placed it, you will be able to see how much you will have to pay to legally acquire this plot. You can increase the size of the plot in any direction you want, but doing so will increase the credits it will take to legally buy it. The closer your plot is to a more desirable location in the sector, such as the highway, the more money it will cost again. The further away you place the plot from the highway, the less it will cost. For the sake of this guide, I will create the plot quite far away from the highway, so I definitely have enough money to build the station. I will also increase the size of the plot so I have enough room to build my station within it. Now you can choose whether you want to pay for the license or if you want to just click continue straight away and illegally place the plot. If you decide to not pay for the license, then the local government will see it as a hostile act. This will decrease your reputation with them over time, and they may even end up attacking your station. I don't want this to happen as it could potentially ruin my recording, so I'm going to buy the license. Next, click on continue and you will be taken to the station building area. It's going to be important to be able to dock at the station, so you will need to build a docking module. Do this by clicking on the dock modules tab on your left and clicking on the module you desire. You then need to take the module into the buildable area and click where you want to place it. I'm going to build 2 standard docking modules that allows 3 medium ships and 6 small ships each to dock at once. You probably don't need to build 2 of these unless you're building a pretty large station, but I like to go over the top. The next dock I'm going to build will only be necessary if you want large and extra large ships to be able to dock at your station. This will be handy for stations that produce a lot of large wares. Apart from that, it's not really needed. However, I want to extend the station with a base module which can be found in the Other Modules tab on your left. I should mention that to rotate a station module, you will first need to bring it into the build area and place it, and then click on it, then click and hold the right mouse button on it and move your mouse around. Doing this when 2 connection points are close enough to each other will snap the module into place. Now I will place the dock pier. I did this because I want the bigger ships to have more space away from the station when they attempt to dock. Before I carry on building, I should also mention that if you click on an empty space and drag your mouse, you can rotate your camera for a better viewpoint if you need one to place a module. You can also zoom in and out with your mouse wheel, and you can move your camera around with the WASD keys. Now I want to build down to make use of the space below the station docks, so I'll place a cross module and attach a vertical module underneath it. and then attach another cross module under that. Next, I'm going to need some storage modules to store all my wares that my station is going to consume and produce. These can be found in the Storage Modules tab. There are small, medium and large versions of the container, liquid and solid storage modules that you can use if you bought them from a faction representative. The container storage will be used for most end products such as the space weed this factory will be producing, as well as the energy cells which I believe are required to produce every product in the game. The liquid storage will store goods such as water, and the solid storage will store things such as silicon and ice. I'm going to need them all, so I'm going to build one of each large storage module under the docks. Next, I want to go into the Production Modules tab and start placing what I'm going to need for my self-sufficient space weed station. First off, I'm going to start with the energy cell production module, as I will need the energy cells to produce everything else on the production line. Next, I want a water production module to turn ice that will be collected by my miner into water. I'll talk more about how to set up autominers for your station a little later in the video. Next, I will place the spice production module to produce spice. This module will be using water and energy cells to do its job. Now for the swamp plant production module. This will also be using water and energy cells to produce swamp plant. Finally, I'm going to squeeze in the space weed production module under the base module that is holding the pier dock module. The space weed module will be using energy cells, swamp plant and spice to produce the space weed, which will be sold for profits. Now that the station template is completed, we can take a look at the information provided to us on the right side of the screen. By clicking on the plus button next to any of the modules listed, we can see what materials will be required to build each module. By clicking on the pen icon next to the modules in the list that have the icon, you will go to a close-up screen of the module itself. On this storage module there are 8 turret groups. If you have bought the blueprints from a faction representative, you will be able to place shields and weapons on each group to protect your station from outside attacks. However, I believe this will increase the resources needed to build this module, which in turn will cost you more credits. Next, we can look at the resources available in build storage. If there are any resources listed here, these resources are waiting to be used for building the station. The resources required to complete changes. These are the resources you need to acquire for station construction. You can also manage the amount you are willing to spend on the materials needed for the construction of the station. If you want to manually change the amount you spend per resource type, you can turn off the global price modifier and manually change the buy prices individually to your liking. Keep in mind that it can take longer to get these resources delivered for construction the more you lower the buy price, unless of course you want to send out your own traders to get the resources for you. I don't have enough traders to get the resources delivered fast enough for this guide, so I'm just going to pay full price for everything. As you can see, the price for everything will be over 18 million credits, so it's a good job I saved up 20 million credits to get this done. Next, we're going to need to hire a builder to construct our station. If we had our own, we could assign it to the station, but we don't, so we're going to spend 50,000 credits to hire one instead. When you click on assign or hire a builder, you will be taken back to the map view. You will now need to look for an available builder within your vision range, or within the vision range of any of the satellites you may have placed down in the universe. When you find a builder, you will need to right click on it and choose select. The builder will now start heading towards the location you are building your station in and start building the modules one by one when the build storage has enough resources in it to start construction. You will now need to provide the funds for construction by building and dragging the bar across until there is enough money to begin the building process and click confirm. We have now completed everything that needs to be done to build up our Space Weed Station complex. All that's left is to click confirm module changes. After some time has passed, the construction of your station will start, so as promised, I will time-lapse the entire building process before moving on to the station management part of this guide. Now that construction is complete, the first thing you will want to do is get yourself a manager for the station. If you already have available personnel on your ship, then you won't need to go out and find one. If you don't already have one, you can hire any person you come across in any NPC station. To do this, you will need to dock at any NPC station of your choosing. Leave your ship and walk up to any person you see and talk to them. Then click the hire button. You will now be taken to the map mode to select where this person will work for you. Right click on the ship you just landed with and click select. Now on the right hand side you will see that the selected workplace is your ship. Now click on the drop down box under select role and choose service crew and click hire. Your new employee will board your ship and disappear somewhere in storage where you will keep him until you find a better use for him, such as becoming the manager of your new station. Now you need to go back to your station and dock to it so you can assign your new employee as the manager. When you have landed, enter your map mode and click the information tab on the left and make sure the name of the ship you are using is selected. If it isn't, you can go into the property owned tab, right click on your current ship and click information. Next, go into personnel, crew, full crew list, service crew, then either apprentice, able crewman or specialist depending on which are lit up blue. Then right click on the crew member you want as the manager and click com. Now choose work somewhere else for me. Once again you will be taken back to the map so you can choose where to assign your employee. Now right click on the station you have just built and click select. Move over to the right side of your screen and select the role as manager and click assign. After some time passes, your manager will be where he needs to be and start managing your station. Now it's time to start explaining the logical station overview. You can get to this tool by going into your map mode and right clicking on your station, then clicking on logical overview. Here you will be able to manage the buying and selling price of every product your station produces and consumes, as well as whether factions can trade with your station for those products or not. You will also be able to calculate how quickly your products are being consumed and produced within the station, so you can easily decide whether you need any more modules added to the station. We'll start by clicking on the Energy Cells tab all the way on the left. Here you can see the efficiency of your energy cell production module due to workforce, how much time there is left for the next batch of energy cells to be produced, how many energy cells are produced per hour, and the estimated time until the supply of resources that are required to produce the energy cells run out. Energy cells don't rely on other products or resources to be produced, so we can ignore that last one. Now if we click on the Energy Cells tab in the blue storage section, we can see that the storage module type required to store energy cells is the container version. Next is the amount we have in storage against the amount we can store. Restrict trade with other factions stops NPC traders from being able to sell or buy energy cells with your station if activated. Please note that this will also stop your automated traders from buying and selling them with other factions too. Buy offer determines how much your station will pay for energy cells per unit from NPC traders. However, your automated station traders will usually try to buy them for cheaper if they can. Sell offer determines how much your station sells the energy credits for. If the sell price is desirable to NPC traders, they will come and buy them from your station. Once again, your automated station traders will usually sell them for more than what is set here if they can. You can also turn off automatic pricing and set the prices yourself if you want to. As energy cells are an intermediate product in our station, I like to turn off the automatic pricing for the buy offer and lower the amount I'm willing to pay for them down to the minimum buying price. I usually leave the automatic pricing on for the sell offer. I do this because my station already produces energy cells, so I don't need to buy them in. And then as my storage starts to fill up with the overproduced energy cells, the automatic sell price will become low enough for the NPC traders to want to buy them. Now we'll have a look at the station account. Here you will be shown the minimum recommended budget. If you transfer more than the minimum recommended budget to the station, it will start buying in the resources it needs to build drones for your stations. Even though I didn't have much money left, I should still have transferred over as much as I could have. This way the station would at least be able to request the items it believes needs to be bought. This is important because if we have station autominers set to mine for our station, and the station is not requesting the resources they are collecting, then the autominers will only collect and store the resources they are mining from space into their own cargo bays. They would never deliver them to the station as the station is not requesting them. Next is the drones drop-down box. Here you can set the target amount of cargo drones, defense drones, and repair drones your station builds for itself. The repair drones will repair the station when damaged, the defense drones will attempt to defend your station when it's attacked, and I believe the cargo drones are used to transfer resources between the station and larger ships. Leaving restock trade drones automatically on will tell the station to try and keep the drones up to the amount that you have chosen. Now we'll go to the end of the production line and check out what is required for each product to be made indefinitely. As we can see, one of the product space weed needs to keep production going on without stopping is 720 swamp plant per hour. If we go over to the swamp plant, we can see that it can produce 950 swamp plant per hour. This is more than enough production to keep our space weed module running non-stop and still have some leftover swamp plant to sell on the side. Now if we look at the spices, we can see that we need 240 spices per hour. We produce 2,880 spices per hour, so we'll definitely be selling a lot of leftover spices. Now we need to check if we have enough water production to support the continuous flow of spice and swamp plant. Spices require 480 water per hour, and swamp plant requires 800 water per hour. With these two combined, we would need at least 1,280 water production. Once again, we can see that we have more than enough water production to keep spices and swamp plant going indefinitely, while also being able to sell our overproduction of water. If we can keep the flow of incoming ice steady and high enough with Autominers, we can also keep the water production going indefinitely. The last thing we need to check is if we have enough energy cell production to keep all the modules going too. For space weed, we will need 840 energy cells per hour, 240 for spices, 320 for swamp plant, and 1,800 for water. All of these needs combined would be 3,200 energy cells needed per hour, and we would be producing 12,000 per hour. Much more than what we need and lots left over to sell away. We now know that we have more than enough production overall to keep the space weed flowing, but only if we can keep ice incoming fast enough with the station Autominers. And considering how much water production is possible compared to how much we would need to use, this shouldn't be a problem. Somewhere between 2 and 4 Autominers should be fine, depending on how far they would have to travel to collect the ice, and also depending on their speed and cargo size. Below the logical station overview, we can check out the economy statistics. Down here you can find a series of graphs that gives us some nice information on how the station has been doing in the last hour, day or week. The only thing that I think should be noted is the management accounts graph, as I believe this might show you if the station has been turning a profit or not. I can't show you this myself because the station has just been built and it has not made any profits or losses yet. Also, I've never really looked into it well enough to understand it or to provide a good explanation for what it is. For the final part of this guide, I will now show you how to set up a station autominer. First, you will need to buy a mining ship. This is a pretty easy task to figure out in the game, so I won't include it in this guide. When you have bought a mining ship, you will need to go into the map and click on the Property Owned tab on the left. You will then need to click on your mining ship and then right click on the station you want the mining ship to auto mine for. Go down to Mining For and click on it. Your mining ship is now the station's autominer and it will mine the resources that your station requires. It will then deliver the mined resources to your station if the station is requesting those mined resources. Now that the mining ship is working for a station, you might notice that it's disappeared from the unassigned ship section in the Property Owned tab on the left of your map. If you need to find the mining ship again and want to unassign it from the station it's working at, you can click on the plus icon next to the station you sent it to work for. Then go down to Subordinates and click on the plus icon to see that this is where the mining ship has been hiding. Next, you need to right click on the mining ship, then click on Remove Assignment. Now the ship no longer works for the station and it's back under the unassigned ship section. The process of assigning and unassigning a trading ship to be your station's auto trader is exactly the same, the only difference being that you click on Trade For instead of Mine For. This concludes my in-depth guide for constructing and managing a station. I'll be honest when I say that I didn't expect there to be so much information to understand and talk about. I hope that this guide has managed to help you out with anything that you have had trouble with concerning station building and station management. If you believe this video could help anyone else understand the things this guide covers, then please share it with them, as it will help this channel out a lot. Also, if you have any suggestions or requests for guides, then please let me know in the comment section below and I will try my best to make it happen. As always, if you enjoyed this guide and you want more, then hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.